So, folks, let's talk about how Donald Trump is, I would say, in a death spiral. Politically in a death spiral. Like, I don't know exactly how he stops that or even attempts to stop that, but he's circling the drain right now. And everything that has happened over like the last 48 hours has just been, I mean, it's embarrassing in a way that I think is visible to everybody. I want to play for you guys this clip of his advisor, not one of his advisors, the White House press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, trying desperately to really talk Trump up, you know? Let's listen to her completely degrade and own herself while telling what is very clearly a lie to everybody involved.
So my advice would be to encourage everyone in this room to try to be the most well-read person in every room that you're in. That was a piece of advice one of my predecessors, Dana Perino, gave to me before I took this job. She said, you always want to be the most well-read person in the room. And I try to be every day. But Donald Trump always is. That man does not miss a story, let me tell you. He's always reading the papers and watching the TV. He doesn't miss anything anyone says in the whole world. I don't know how he does it and consumes it all. And it's a lot. And, you know, you guys are busy, right? You're students, you're working, you're in school, you want to have fun, you want to live lives. You can't consume every piece of news, but before you get really hot and bothered about something, or maybe angry, or even really encouraged by something, check other sources and then use your best judgment to sort of balance what the truth is. And unfortunately, that's just the way it has to be done.
And when you have that heavy...
we need to play the beginning part of that again.
My advice would be to encourage everyone in this room to try to be the most well-read person in every room that you're in. That was a piece of advice one of my predecessors, Dana Perino, gave to me before I took this job. She said, you always want to be the most well-read person in the room. And I try to be every day. But Donald Trump always is. That man does not miss a story, let me tell you.
Donald Trump can't read. During his first administration, he famously encouraged his advisors to stop giving him, like, readable materials and instead give him, essentially, printouts that are pictures. And now during this particular administration, he's told them to stop giving him like written materials entirely. Now he just gets like 2-minute long video montages to get him caught up on what's happening. I genuinely don't think he's able to read, or if he is able to read, his skills are a little bit rusty. And you know, just to kind of point this out here, well, we could kind of see how good he is at reading and writing from the quality of his notes that he takes. So let's just take a quick look here at some notes he took and were visible because he wrote the notes with Sharpie, and the Sharpie bled through the paper he wrote them on. And of course, he read this on camera. So, yeah, let's just, maybe we could zoom in a little bit here. He wrote his little speech. He's just reading off his talking points, but you can see here, including the ballroom. He wrote his notes about the ballroom. Is that a cheat sheet? It's his own cheat sheet, but in his own sloppy handwriting. Like, is it going to be a dick butt? It would be very funny if it was a dick butt, but no. Anyway, that's the level of literacy we're dealing with Donald Trump, okay? Like, it's not great. It's not great. But let's continue. What else? What's been on Donald Trump's mind this week? Let's what's been on his mind? Let's just check in here. Here's a 40-second long clip.
Because the United States can't take care of daycare. That has to be up to a state. We can't take care of daycare. We're a big country. We have 50 states. We have all these other people. We're fighting wars. We can't take care of daycare. You got to let a state take care of daycare, and they should pay for it, too. They should pay. They have to raise their taxes, but they should pay for it. And we could lower our taxes a little bit to them to make up, but it's not possible for us to take care of daycare. Medicaid, Medicare, all these individual things, they can do it on a state basis. You can't do it on a federal. We have to take care of one thing: military protection.
So I talked a little bit ago in a different segment about how Donald Trump's budget proposal for 2027 is, let's cut Medicaid, Medicare, any kind of social programs that actually help people. And if the states need to do it, then let the states handle Medicare, Social Security, Medicaid, etc. But the federal government is just going to handle the military. And here's a clip of him just straight up saying, well, the federal government is really only military, and you can't expect the federal government to have programs that help children not die. God, that'd be crazy. You can't expect the federal government to handle Medicaid and Medicare and Social Security, the things that the federal government currently runs successfully. Like, Donald Trump is just straight up going out there and saying, I'm going to touch all of the third rails of politics. I dare God to strike me down for doing so. Like, it's genuinely insane. And of course, in all of this, JD Vance is fucking off to Hungary to campaign for Viktor Orban. And we'll see how long he actually stays over there. Allegedly, he's staying there from April 7th to April 8th, but genuinely, I think he just wants to be away from here for as long as possible. So we'll have to check back in with him next week. All that being said here, the main thing, if you look at Donald Trump's Truth Social that he has going on, it's two things: Iran and his ballroom. That's it. Those are the two things on his mind. And that is not the order of importance that he gives to them. Let's take a look at one of his Truth Social statements from just a couple days ago. The National Trust for Historic Preservation sues me for a ballroom that is under budget, ahead of schedule, being built at no cost to the taxpayer, and will be the finest building of its kind anywhere in the world. I then get sued by them over the renovation of the dilapidated and structurally unsound former Kennedy Center, now the Trump Kennedy Center. A show of bipartisan unity, a Republican and a Democrat president, folks, where all I'm doing is fixing, cleaning, running, and sprucing up. Also, if you have to put quotes around sprucing up, we all know you don't actually mean that. A terribly maintained, for many years, building, but a building of potentially great importance. Yet the National Trust for Historic Preservation, a radical left group of lunatics, whose funding was stopped by Congress in 2005, is not suing the Federal Reserve for a building which is decimated and destroyed inside and out by an incompetent and possibly corrupt Fed chairman. The once magnificent building is billions over budget, may never be completed, and may never open. All of the beautiful walls inside have been ripped down, never to be built again. As we know, walls get ripped down and can never be built again. It's so true. So true, King. But the National Trust for Historic Preservation never did anything about it. Or have they sued on Governor Gavin Newsom's railroad to nowhere in California that is billions over budget and probably will never open or be used? I don't know that the California high-speed rail project has anything to do with the National Trust for Historic Preservation. I don't think the National Trust for Historic Preservation is assigned the duty of overseeing railway construction. But okay, bud. So the White House Ballroom and the Trump Kennedy Center, which are under budget, ahead of schedule, and will be among the most magnificent buildings of their kind anywhere in the world, get sued by a group that was cut off by government years ago, but all of the many disasters in our country are left alone to die. Doesn't make much sense, does it? President Donald J. Trump. Like, this is fucking insane drunk uncle ranting. He's drunkle ranting right now, okay? Like, this is another just another insane post, but he has tons of them like this. Tons of them, okay? He's been talking about this ballroom, but he also has a new obsession, which is specifically what he's going to do with all of this foreign money that's been donated to his Trump Library Fund. Now, you might recall that he has been receiving donations from foreign countries in order to fund his nonprofit Trump Library not association, but like nonprofit, I guess, is sufficient. Let's listen to him talk about that real quick. What is his library gonna look like?
I got one. Your son Eric posted a photo of what will be the Trump Presidential Library. Yeah. It's a huge skyscraper.
In Miami.
Is that all a library? What else is going in?
No, well, it's a library. It's a museum or a library. It's a presidential, but I wouldn't start it till I'm out of office. I don't believe in building libraries or museums. It's really like the Barack Hussein Obama one in Chicago. In not a good location, and it's a very unattractive building that's seriously late and seriously over budget.
I don't believe in building libraries or museums. Okay, then why do you have a nonprofit dedicated to building a fucking library museum?
I think you're going to see a great one here, and it'll go up on time, on budget, best location in Miami. They say it's the best block in Miami, and the state worked with us.
Will people live in the floors?
No, it's going to be most likely a hotel. This concept could be office, but it's most likely going to be a hotel with a beautiful building underneath and a 747 Air Force One in the lobby, which is going to be a trick.
I got one.
It's a museum library, but I don't believe in building libraries. It's going to be a massive hotel. You can't. You have a nonprofit taking this money. You can't use that nonprofit money to build a fucking hotel. Yeah, how the fuck is a nonprofit gonna run a hotel? Why would you put a 747 in the lobby of the building? Why? How would that make it cool? This man is fucking cooked. But, luckily, we have an idea of what it looks like thanks to Donald Trump here. Just real quick, in case anyone's wondering, he posted this on Truth Social, but it's a real website. You can just go there. So if you go to trumplibrary.org, it comes up with this. It's, if you wish to donate more than $10,000, click here. There's literally a $10,000 donate button on this website. The brazenness of the corruption of this is insane. Like, just for this button alone, he should go to fucking jail. But let's take a look at his Donald J. Trump Presidential Library, because guess what? There's a little video here. So let's check it out. That's his library. It's just AI fucking slop. It's AI slop force-fed to his dying, dementia-addled brain. And he's just like, it's gonna have a 747 in it. I saw it in the AI rendering. Can I just say, like, oh yeah, man, this is the place you want to stay as a hotel. The place where it's broadcasting pictures of his speeches on the side of the building with a giant fucking golden statue of him on top of it. Yeah, that's the building you want to stay in when you go to Miami. So the library is just, we put a bunch of planes and aircraft into the lobby because they're museum exhibits. Oh, thank God. It has a golden escalator. Perfect. Nailed it. Remember the golden escalator? We're bringing that from the first building that we rode down that golden escalator. We're going to put it in this building. The fucking golden statue. Oh, fuck. Oh, it's so stupid and fascist. It's crazy. I gotta say this is fucking nuts. Wait, there's like another 10 seconds of the video left. Does something happen? No, it's just awkwardly another 10 seconds long for no reason. Okay, cool. Anyway, that's trumplibrary.org for all y'all. So what, a fake ballroom and Oval Office? I can't tell if it's a fake ballroom or if it's just adding the Oval Office and the ballroom that he wanted for the White House to the library. Genuinely, it's baffling. It's just all AI slop. And I want to also note that it has been approximately 24 hours since this quote was broadcast, and no major outlet has talked about it, really.
Somalia is just terrible. A lot of people say it's the worst country anywhere in the world. They have no money, no nothing. They have no government. They have no police. They just shoot each other all day long. It's just pure bedlam. Probably the worst, most dangerous country. We have some beauties. They go to Minnesota, and they stole $19 billion. $19 billion. And they're low IQ. Generally, I mean, I can generalize. They're low IQ people. They're bad people. They have 94% unemployment. In other words, they don't want to work. You know, get a lot of jobs available, right, with the economy. They don't want to work. Why would they work? And they sold more Mercedes-Benzes than any state in the union because they come here with no money, and they go out, they love a Mercedes-Benz, and they go out and buy Mercedes-Benzes. And I think you're going to get to the bottom of it real easy, and every one of them should be. And Ilhan Omar, who married her husband, married her brother became her husband. When she has to check a book, she says, any brothers? One. Any husband? One. She checks 2 people. So on top of everything else, she gets a double income tax cut. She's a stone cold crook, and everybody knows it. And the papers, they have one paper out in particular. The guy made a living writing about her, and I spoke to him. He said, but nobody does anything about it, sir. All you have to do is get his writings from the Indianapolis Star or whatever paper he works for. You don't even have to do anything. This guy spent 10 years investigating that crook, and you got to do something about it, or our people are going to get they're already upset. Takes too long. So JD, you go do it, and Russell, you better do it. Amalia's just...
This is genuinely the most racist thing I can recall him ever saying openly. Like, he just said with his whole chest, you know, like, Somali folks are low IQ. I can generalize. They're low IQ. Like, this is like the most definitional racism. This is the most brute and disgusting racism. This is Ku Klux Klan shit. And like, it's been 24 hours. I haven't seen like, Jake Tapper, where you at? Like, I know it might not be news to some folks that this guy's a racist. We've all known he's a racist for years. We should still be pointing it out. We should still be saying, this guy's a fucking racist. A fucking gutter racist. And he should be impeached for this. This is like, you should be removed from office style shit. Like, I know that we've got a lot of problems right now, but like, in addition to all of them, this alone is worthy of pulling someone out of office and kicking their can to the curb. You know? Yeah, a racist and Jeffrey Epstein's best friend. Anyway, I needed to talk about that because I'm not seeing people talk about it. It's driving me nuts. Okay? The fact that he just repeats a debunked racist lie about Ilhan Omar marrying her brother, and the room like just vilely chuckles along with him, it makes me so fucking mad. It makes me so fucking mad. And in addition to all of this, by the way, Donald Trump is, well, the administration is just going fucking bonkers. There's no other way to say it, right? I saw this story the other day, and I wanted to talk about it a little bit because this is indicative of how the Trump administration is just like fucking beefing it everywhere. We've got Pete Hegseth trying to move anti-drone lasers into Washington, D.C. Now, if you will recall, earlier this year and last year, there have been incidents where the FAA has had to shut down airspace around major cities because our different military installations have had to do things like shoot down a balloon from a children's birthday party with one of these anti-drone lasers. That kind of firing into the sky has the potential to hit aircraft. And if that happens, you could damage or destroy a civilian aircraft. We have an emote in the chat, in the riverboat.gg chat, of the laser balloon incident. And like, that has happened not once, but multiple times in just like the last year. Okay? We have Pete Hegseth now saying, well, let's move these anti-drone lasers into Washington, D.C., a place where lawmakers fly their aircraft into the city. This is a terrible idea. Given the fact that there has been no existing coordination between like the FAA, between the airports, between the military bases, between DHS, who have been flying drones around, like this is setting up a tragedy. And it's not even like the biggest thing happening. It's just like another thing happening, right? Additionally, Pete Hegseth, you guys remember we talked about at No Kings, there was a helicopter crew that flew over a No Kings protest and like freaked out all of the protesters, and then apparently flew by Kid Rock's home. And then the army, of course, launched an immediate investigation into that event. Well, guess what? Pete Hegseth canceled that investigation. We'll never know why that happened. Haha. It's just some fun guys. Just cool stuff. And like on top of all of this, guys, Donald Trump has been getting his ass handed to him in court. So we have like just wild, insane nonsense. Donald Trump is spiraling out about the IQs of different ethnic groups, and like also like just losing his grasp on reality, focusing on ballrooms, etc., etc., etc. And on top of that, federal judges have ruled that he now can be held civilly responsible for January 6th. So he can now be sued. So he's going to be dealing with personal lawsuits directed at him and his behavior from lawmakers as well as from police officers, people harmed during January 6th. He also got stopped from defunding NPR. He also got... but he also has tried to put an end to mail-in voting, or to put extreme restrictions on mail-in voting. That has been immediately challenged in court, like just the instant it happened. Because again, all of the states in the union have been putting together legal defenses against what Donald Trump is doing now. Like people have had over a year to prepare, and they're ready to fight this guy in court. Okay? They've known this has been coming for a long time. And this guy's going to lose. Like, he's going to lose when it comes to mail-in ballots. Like, we have had vote by mail forever in this country. And then we have the birthright citizenship case. Now, I know a lot of people have been on edge, myself included, about how this case was going to play out in front of the Supreme Court. The fact that the Supreme Court even took it at all. Was Hegseth fired? No, of course not. Hegseth is doing everything Donald Trump wants him to do. Now, of course, this Supreme Court, it was a big question about which way this case was going to go, right? So, of course, the day before SCOTUS heard oral arguments, Donald Trump announced, oh yeah, by the way, I'm going to physically be in the courtroom during this particular oral argument. And so he was. And the day before, this is how he was talking about them.
Obama and Biden, I don't care how good your case is. You can have the greatest case ever. They're going to rule against you. They always do. And it's not supposed to be that way. Now, the Republicans tend to be very different. They want to show how honorable they are. So a man can appoint them and they can rule against him. It's so proud of it. We're so proud we ruled against Trump. We're so proud. We're above it. There are those that say that's wonderful, and there are those that say they're so stupid. But the Democrats never fail at one thing. When Barack Hussein Obama or when Biden appoints somebody, they go along that line. You can have the greatest case in history. And almost, I guess I have to say almost, maybe I don't have to say it, almost without fail, those people, 4 of them, sometimes 5 of them, but 4 of them will vote against you. You don't have a chance. You don't have a chance. And that's not what the court system is. Now, the Republican appointees tend to go, and this has been long before me, this has been for many years. Some people would call it stupidity, some people would call it disloyal, some people would say they're right in doing it. And I don't mind being right, but the other side almost never does it. Almost. Obama.
That's just him riffing and calling the Supreme Court justices disloyal for not voting for him on colossal cases on matters of law. And of course, this is all after he puts out this statement. Birthright citizenship has to do with the babies of slaves, not Chinese billionaires who have 56 kids, all of whom become American citizens. One of the many great scams of our time, President Donald J. Trump. Like, let's just take a moment here and acknowledge that birth tourism is basically not a thing, right? Here is an excerpt from an NBC post, or not an NBC post, sorry, a 2011 piece from someone who is now the editor-in-chief of a website called The Unpopulist. Time magazine reported last year that of all babies born in 2008 to at least one unauthorized parent, over 80% were to moms who had been in the United States for over 1 year. Actual instances of birth tourism where moms expressly came here to deliver babies on American soil accounted for about 0.2% of all births in 2006. And most of these moms were not poor, illegal Hispanics. They were rich Chinese moms on tourist visas. But the idea that we should just overturn the understanding of birthright citizenship because there are some people who happen to come here to have babies so that those kids can grow up enjoying American citizenship is wild. The idea that we should be so afraid all the time of people being born in this country is wild to me. But I also want to point out this story from 2018. Birth tourism brings Russian baby boom to Miami. That's interesting. Oh, wait a minute. Social media is full of Russian women boasting about coming to America to give birth. sometimes staying at Trump properties. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? Do we have a fun little picture here? In a twist, as the Daily Beast first reported, condo buildings that bear the Trump name are the most popular for the out-of-town obstetric patients. Although the units are subleased from the individual owners, and it's not clear if building management is aware. But also, I wanted to point out here, this was, might not have been known to building management, but it was well known enough that they had specific marketing materials for this to happen. It is bizarre. It's racist. It's fucking nuts. The idea that we should be destroying our constitutional rights in order to cater to these fringe cases is bizarre, frankly. And of course, the arguments in front of the Supreme Court went terribly for the Trump administration. Like, they went terribly for the Trump administration. I want to highlight just this exchange highlighted by Aaron Reichlin Melnick, senior fellow at the American Immigration Council. Gorsuch follows up. Do you think Native Americans today are birthright citizens under your test? The Trump administration official says no. Gorsuch responds that because his test is domicile of the parents, so why not? Wouldn't tribal Indians domiciled in the US be birthright citizens? Then the Trump administration official says, yes, they probably would be. When you've lost Neil Gorsuch when it comes to indigenous people, you've lost the case, right? Like, Gorsuch has weirdly been decent on indigenous issues, but like the Trump administration seriously tried to argue to the Supreme Court that indigenous Americans are not, do not have birthright citizenship. The racism of this administration is off the charts. And I want to let you know, luckily, the vibe of this particular Supreme Court argument seems heavily skewed towards the pro maintaining birthright citizenship side. I want you to listen to this audio exchange from the courtroom.
In your opening, that if we agree with you on how to read Wong Kim Ark, then you win. So that could be if we did agree with you on Wong Kim Ark, that could be just a short opinion, right? That says the better reading is respondent's reading. Government doesn't ask us to overrule, affirmed.
Yes.
That's that. Then last question, though, why would we do this in your opening?
Like, when Brett Kavanaugh is just like, we can be lazy if we agree with you, right? Like, we can just write a short agreement and like go home. Like, she's just like, yeah, you can. And then the entire courtroom laughs. Like, it is a fucking joke that the Trump administration is trying to push here. And I wanted to highlight this particular thing, which was put forward by an individual by the name of Evan Bernick, who is an associate professor at Northern Illinois University College of Law. Here is a law review from the Yale Law Journal of 1921. So during the course of arguments, the Solicitor General of the United States, I believe his name is John Sauer, cited this, okay? Wong Kim Ark did not directly decide the precise point that persons born in the United States of aliens who are mere sojourners or transients are citizens of this country, since in each of these cases the parents were domiciled in the United States, so that it was not an issue. So this is what was cited in Wong Kim Ark. This is why Gorsuch was asking the Solicitor General about Native Americans, about indigenous people, right? Because the domiciled argument was what the Trump administration was trying to really home in on. Like the idea that like, well, you have to be domiciled here in order to get citizenship. Evan Bernick here points out that if you will direct your attention after this particular sentence ends, the paragraph continues. However, weirdly enough, John Sauer didn't quote the next sentence. I wonder why that might be. However, both of those decisions relied to a considerable extent upon the decision in Lynch v. Clark, in which the person concerned, who is declared to be a native citizen of the United States, was born in this country of alien parents who were mere sojourners. What is more important, all of these decisions were based upon the theory that the law of citizenship of the United States was taken from the common law of England, and the latter makes no distinction between persons born in the country of alien sojourners and those born of domiciled aliens. Essentially, everything that comes after the sentence that the Solicitor General was trying to argue in front of the Supreme Court directly contradicts the Solicitor General's own arguments. So, it's pretty patently obvious how full of shit their arguments are, you know? It's really, really bad. And here is the lawyer for the ACLU who argued in front of the Supreme Court. And let's hear her closing thoughts here after leaving the courtroom.
I just came out of the Supreme Court of the United States after arguing our birthright citizenship case, Trump versus Barbara. It is a nerve-wracking experience to argue any case in the Supreme Court, and especially one as weighty as this one, where the President of the United States is taking aim at a cherished American tradition and individual right of citizenship based on your birth in this country. I myself am a 14th Amendment citizen because my parents had not yet naturalized when I was born. So I walked in today with the spirit of my parents and so many people's ancestors. In that first generation of Americans, whether they naturalized or not, I consider them all Americans. They came to this country with hopes and dreams, and they gave birth to future Americans, and that's us.
It's you know, it's just nice when, you know, it's nice when maybe we win one, you know? We're not going to win every single fight, sadly, because the Trump administration did win a very disturbing requirement that the government put out there, which is specifically from Pennsylvania. Essentially, the Trump administration went to UPenn and demanded a list of all Jewish faculty and all Jewish students at the school. They did this a while ago, back in July of last year. Well, a judge has ordered the university to comply with the subpoena. So the university has to turn over a list of all Jewish students and faculty. And like, I don't know about you guys, but it's really fucked up that this is happening, and there's not really any given reason for it to happen. Here is a quote from the judge. For their legal arguments, respondents contend the charge of discrimination is invalid and the subpoena violates the United States Constitution in various ways. But the charge is valid and the Constitution claims are easily dispensed with, according to U.S. District Court Judge Gerald Peppert. So, he argued that Penn, along with other campus groups involved in the litigation, significantly raised the dispute's temperature by implied or even expressly comparing the EEOC's efforts to protect Jewish employees from anti-Semitism to the Holocaust and the Nazis' compilation of lists of Jews. Such allegations are unfortunate and inappropriate, the judge wrote. And I just want to say, how on earth are the comparisons inappropriate? The government is literally demanding a list of Jews from the university. Like, I don't, like, the government is just saying, oh, we intend to protect them with this list. And it's just like, the university issued a statement via their spokesperson. We continue to believe that requiring Penn to create lists of Jewish faculty and staff and to provide personal contact information for them raises serious privacy and First Amendment concerns. And the university added that their university system does not maintain any such list. I genuinely, this case baffles me. And I nothing good can come about from this whatsoever. And I wanted to let you guys know that also, as we look forward to the future, and part of the reason why I keep telling you guys we have to get organized right now is so that we can stop what the Trump administration is trying to do and what the think tanks that prop up the Trump administration are trying to do. Many of you might recall the Heritage Foundation putting together a Project 2025, right? Essentially a program that they have followed pretty closely to dismantle American democracy. Well, guys, they're coming back for a Project 2026. Okay? And they're calling it Restoring America's Promise. And yeah, it's a bit easier to wrap your head around than Project 2025's frankly breathtaking scope. Yeah, the Heritage Foundation and Heritage Action are fighting to restore self-governance so that all Americans can live the good life. Conservatives must set the agenda, earn a mandate for that agenda, and govern accordingly. Over the next 2 years, we will engage in Washington to dismantle the deep state and in the states to restore the family, rebuild American institutions, and restore opportunity for all. We are committed to promoting human flourishing for all Americans and championing the policies that get us there. Heritage will advocate for America to protect its sovereignty, defend its borders, defeat globalism. Again, if you are aware of globalism as a dog whistle in far-right circles, as you definitely should be, this is very troubling, especially considering the last element of the Jewish lists we put together that are being put together by Penn at a judge's order. And today we're casting a vision for 9 of the most important challenges facing America, some familiar and others new. Policymakers must address these challenges to make America stabler, stronger, and safer today and for future generations to come. So number 1, of course, is countering the CCP, fighting China and Chinese influence. Eliminate regulation, inflation, and spending. Again, they just want the budget that Donald Trump is already proposing for 2027. This is not really that different, right? End the border and immigration chaos, which is interesting considering Donald Trump is the president right now, and ensure election integrity. They're trying with the mail-in ballot restrictions and whatnot. Expand education freedom, meaning they want school vouchers for kids that already go to private school. Restore digital sovereignty. Now, what exactly does this mean? American tech companies have been a source of amazing achievements for America, but in recent years, big tech has too often behaved as an enemy of the people, actively undermining American greatness. And let's see here. Heritage Enterprise wants to put power back in the hands of American people by holding big tech accountable, by enforcing antitrust and other laws, and proposing new measures to end its abuses. We will advance laws and regulations that foster competition and cutting-edge innovation. And big tech has interfered with our elections, sought to groom and brainwash our children with perverted left-wing ideologies, engaged in anti-competitive behavior that stifles innovation, colluded with authoritarian governments, and sided with woke elites to suppress free speech and disproportionately silence conservatives. Want to remind you guys, all of the data we have available indicates that almost every social media site prioritizes and boosts conservative content rather than left-leaning content. And also, I will say one thing. I would love to see antitrust regulations enforced on big tech. I would love that. But I have a feeling that any kind of antitrust that Heritage Foundation supports is the kind of antitrust that it would be to, like, destroy any kind of, like, even slightly left-leaning aspect of the internet. You know, they want to repeal Section 230. Absolutely they do. Put family first, root out the deep state, and unleash American energy. Like, god damn, guys. I think maybe I'll do a deep dive on this particular thing on a new day, but, like, fuck, man, I hate the Heritage Foundation. All my homies hate the Heritage Foundation. And last but not least, folks, we need to get organized, because if we don't, billionaires are going to try and get our opponents organized using money. Okay? And Popular Information with Judd Legum, which I recommend to all of you. It's a very good site, right? But they did a story a couple days ago. AI industry taps January 6th operative to run a $100 million campaign to boost MAGA candidates. Like, and by the way, this little chud is Taylor Budowich. And yeah, basically AI companies are trying to lobby the US government to keep AI relevant, to keep AI, pumping money from, whether it's from taxpayers or from private investors. And I mean, guys, if you aren't getting organized, there's a guy with $100 million organizing ads and billboards and radio spots and, flashy graphics with $100 million for MAGA all across the country. So if we don't get organized, they're gonna win. Okay? So what I'm gonna ask you guys to do, once again, is get organized. Join your local Dems. Join your local DSA. All right? We need to be organized so that we can take advantage of any kind of weakness within the Republican Party, within the electorate writ large, within our community. We need to be able to take advantage of Republican weakness and crush them wherever we find them, whether we find them under the guise of MAGA, whether we find them under the guise of third-way centrist Democrats, any conservative-leaning person in our leftist organizing spaces. We need to make sure that we outnumber them. We need to make sure that we are able to crush them politically. Okay? And the best way to do that is if you start showing up now. The best time to do it would have been if you had started showing up, 3 years ago. But the second best time is now. Okay? We need people to show up to your meetings. Show up to your local Democratic meetings. If someone needs help, say yes. Participate. Become known. Vote within these organizations. Because guess what? You can shape which candidates come up and get put on the ballot. You can shape how much organizing is done in your local community to do door knocking, to do phone banking. You can work together with labor unions. You can help unionize different workplaces, too. You can be a solution to different problems in your community. But you need to show up. So join your local Dems and go to the meetings. Join your local DSA and go to the meetings. It is very important that you go to the meetings. If you need help getting started, because I know it can be really daunting, it can be a bit scary, I encourage you, join our Discord, reach out to Dragonfly for help joining your local Dems, reach out to GamerG for help joining your local DSA, and they can help get you involved in your local organization. They have generously dedicated their time, their expertise. Both have been longtime organizers. They know what they're doing. They can help you, give you tips on how to influence different people in the organization, make the Dems more progressive, make the DSA more effective. And if enough of us get involved, we can change the world. You have agency in this political system. It is, though a flawed democracy, still a democracy. You have agency. And so I encourage you guys to use that agency to make things better instead of just sitting on it and letting it rot. So if you don't want to join Discord, you can join riverboat.gg over here. GamerG and Dragonfly are often active in the chat throughout the stream. Please consider connecting with them to get involved. We also have chats on the Discord where people can talk about their experiences with DSA and their local Democrats, get advice, etc. And we have some private Signal chats as well. So do reach out, do get involved, and also If you got anything out of this, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the follow button, do the things. Leave a comment longer than 8 words. It really helps in the algorithm. And last but not least, check out ImogeneOlivia.com. It's gender euphoric lingerie designed from the ground up for trans femmes. Also tested with cis men, cis women, non-binary folks. It is beautiful, elegant, non-tucking lingerie that fits, and it's very sexy. Check it out. And the link should be down in the description, like right down there. So check that out, and let's keep on going.
Riverboat Jack is coming to town. All the viewers gather round. Twitch and YouTube and swishy streams. All that content is bursting the scenes. Politics, being flame more. Your sense of fashion you'll adore. So grab your stuff and hop aboard. We're going straight to Jack's Discord.